guys, welcome back. Mermaid Nina here. First of all, happy Halloween, guys. I absolutely love Halloween. It is my favorite holiday. How about you? Who loves Halloween? Yes, OMG. Plus, it's my anniversary. I have been married to my husband now for 15 years. Oh my goodness, how did that happen? It's just crazy to think that I have been married for 15 years. But yes, so Halloween is my favorite holiday. It is also the day I got hitched to my very own Frankenstein, who I love very much. But I know you guys are busy tonight, right? You're probably trick-or-treating or going to some parties. So I thought I would do a Halloween-ish segue video so that you can enjoy this video even after Halloween. But because it is Halloween, there is something about Halloween that I absolutely love. I love the spooky and the tricks and the treats and did I say treats? That's right. I love Halloween treats. Who's with me? My favorite, of course, is, ready? Pumpkin flavored. Who just cannot wait for the pumpkin seasonings to start coming? You know, your pumpkin coffees, your pumpkin creamers, your pumpkin donuts. Oh my goodness. Tonight in our segue video, I'm gonna do something new, guys. Can you tell? Probably not. I'm wearing an apron. We are gonna actually bake tonight. Who is excited to bake? We are gonna bake something that is very Halloween-y, but also segues into the holidays to come, those Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. And we are gonna be using my favorite ingredient. You ready for it? Pumpkin. Woo woo. So come along, guys, and let's bake the most delicious, ready for it? Pumpkin cookies you have ever had. They are so moist and just sweet enough that you can get that taste of that pumpkin flavoring without all the sugar kind of taking over. Oh my gosh, and it's so cake-like. It's almost like eating a muffin top, or almost, you know, it's almost like a cakey cookie. They are so good, you know, these old-fashioned pumpkin cookies. And of course, as you guys know, I am vegan. So that means these cookies will be vegan and plant-based, and I have food allergies. So they will be 100% dairy-free, egg-free, and all those good things. But I don't want to scare you guys who are not vegan. There is nothing like vegan weird in these cookies. These are everyday ingredients. You know, your sugar, your flour, your pumpkin. That's right. So come along, guys. Let's make some cookies. And don't leave too soon, because I have a little trick. You ready for this? Who hates it when you open up a can of pumpkin, and I swear, like all the recipes, even pumpkin pie, it never uses the whole can. You're always left with like a smidgen of pumpkin that of course you stick in the fridge and you think, okay, what am I gonna do with this like half a cup of pumpkin? Well, I have a trick for you guys of exactly what to do with the leftover pumpkin when you are done making these cookies. And for those of you who are like, Nina, why are you baking? In case you didn't know, I was actually a professional baker for about 10 years. That's right. To put myself through college, I baked my way in various famous bakeries, and I baked, and I was a cake decorator. So my artistic skills definitely came into play, because not only did I bake the treats, but I would decorate those famous crazy 3D birthday cakes and wedding cakes. So when it comes to baking, I do kind of sort of know what I'm talking about, although I'm sure I may do something wrong. So I'm sure you guys will catch it and make sure you let me know. But yeah, let's go bake the most delicious, the most moist, the most cakey, old-fashioned vegan pumpkin cookies. Let's go. Ready? All right, guys, welcome to my kitchen. Woo, woo. All right, so I've already kind of started or mixed a few things to make this a little bit easier, but I kind of wanted to go over some tips and tricks for you guys when baking. So first thing is, you really want to use good ingredients if you can get them. And Baking is not as much like cooking. Like cooking, you can kind of throw in as many, ingredients. You don't have to quite measure all the broccoli. You can just kind of throw stuff in there. Baking is very much like chemistry. So you really do need the correct amount of certain ingredients. So when it mixes with the other ingredients, you have the right combination to create that proper chemistry. This is especially important in baking because you want things to rise, right? You don't want to have flat, crunchy, cake. You want things to rise and be fluffy and moist. So you really do have to pay attention that you measure correctly and you read your recipe. By the way, this recipe will pop up here so often, and it will also be in the description underneath the video. So a few of my tips and tricks is really to have the right products for baking. For example, when it comes to measuring cups, there's kind of two options, right? You can get a measuring cup. You guys know about these, right? Or you can get like a measuring scoop. Now, to me, there is a reason to have both. I use this one for liquids, right? Measuring your milk, your water, your liquids. I use this to measure my solids, my flour, my sugar, my pumpkin will be measured in this scoop. Now, the key to measuring is when you scoop out your ingredients, you want to take a knife, the flat side, and you want to level it off so you get exactly the amount you're trying to get. When it comes to like sugar and flour that can kind of get bunched up or cakey, I do kind of tap it off and make sure it is nice and filled in your scoop, and then you scrape. So that is kind of like a big difference I notice when a lot of people try baking these things and their product doesn't really turn out quite the way they wanted it to. Sometimes it's as simple as just measuring properly using the correct measuring tools. Now, the other thing I absolutely love, I got these on Amazon because I had once purchased them at a grocery store and of course I couldn't find them anymore, but are these little tiny spoonulas. You see that? They have a great way of scraping the side of the bowl, but also collecting the ingredient in that little spoon cavity. I have them in all sorts of different colors. I absolutely love them. Excuse me. So let's talk about the ingredients. Again, these cookies are going to be vegan and plant-based, but again, that's not scary. It just means I'm using different butter. It means I'm using special vegan sugar, and it means I'm not baking with eggs or milk. But you're going to see some everyday ingredients in here. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and my secret ingredient, because oddly enough, this ingredient is never in pumpkin flavored items, is pumpkin spice. And then I've just got your everyday vanilla. Most of these items come from Costco because I bake just that much. And then my butter. So if you're not vegan and you want to use regular butter, go ahead. It's going to turn out the same. I use vegan butter, for which I use Earth Balance sticks. Now, for those of you who don't know the difference, sticks come pre-measured, right? So you get 4 sticks in a box, and each stick is a half a cup. So ironically, this recipe calls for a half a cup of butter. So all I have to do is scrape it out of the wrapper and stick it in my container. Super easy that way. My pumpkin, of course, I'm using a pumpkin from Costco. It is indeed organic. You could use Libby's pumpkin or whatever kind of pumpkin you want. You just want to make sure you look at the ingredients, because what you want is pumpkin. You do not want pumpkin pie filling. You want pumpkin. But other than that, the ingredients are pretty standard. Now, to replace egg, because traditionally cookies do have egg in them, I'm going to use simple, you ready for it? Applesauce. That's right. I'm just going to take 2 teaspoons of this organic Mott's applesauce and throw it in my mix. So pretty easy, pretty simple. You guys with me? Okay, so because baking is like chemistry, you do need to separate your flour, your sugar, your dry ingredients from your wet ingredients. So when you look at any recipe, you'll notice they say to mix the dry separate from the wet. So all I did is I did that for you guys. So right here is the dry. That's flour, sugar, seasoning, salt. All that stuff is already in here. And I like to use a whisk. A whisk helps mix up the ingredients nicely, and it helps break down the flour in case you have any chunks or chunky parts in your flour. It kind of is like a sifter and a mixer in one. So I do kind of just, I just kind of whisk the dry ingredients. They are already right here. Again, that is 2.5 cups of flour. I used organic flour. It's 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and as my secret ingredient, I put in a few shakes of that pumpkin spice seasoning. Now we need to move on to the wet. Again, we got to keep them separate because once you put them together, that's when the magic happens, right? That's when chemistry starts happening, especially when you add liquid and you mix it with the baking soda and the baking powder. That's what helps makes things rise. So the wet ingredients, I have 1 stick of butter and I have 1.5 cups of sugar. So this is my KitchenAid mixer bowl. If you guys have one of those, great, that's what I use. This is the paddle I use for my mixer. It is part, like scraper on one side and spoon on the other. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up in my mixer. If you just have a hand mixer, great, use that too. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this going and start mixing my butter and my sugar. So let's go. While you're mixing, you want to always make sure you're scraping down sides because you want to make sure you get everything incorporated. But this is, all right, looking good in there. Okay, so this recipe calls for a cup of pumpkin. Now, I love pumpkin so much that I'm not going to worry about scraping that down. I'm going to make it a nice hefty cup of pumpkin. You just got to get it down in there. I love these spatulas because I can scrape every bit of pumpkin goodness into this recipe. Next, I have my applesauce. Again, I'm replacing eggs. So I'm just taking my cup of applesauce here and I want about 2 tablespoons. So 1. How convenient are these little cups? Then you can have a snack later, right? 2 tablespoons of the applesauce. And then it's 1 teaspoon of vanilla, which I kind of just pour because I've been doing it for so long, I know what 1 teaspoon is. And there you go. And just start mixing. All right, so this is almost done. You can still see a little few chunks of butter that I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit and try to break down the butter chunks a little bit, but this is kind of the consistency you want. It's kind of speckly, can you guys see that? It's not like a pure like puree mixture because you got that butter in there. So you just wanna mix it up so the butter's kind of broken down as small as you can get it. Then we're gonna add the dry ingredients. And like I said, once the dry meets the wet, that's when the chemistry starts happening and you don't want to mix too much. Once you put the two together, you kind of want to just mix it quickly and not for too long because that will change the consistency of whatever you're baking. So again, I'm going to put this on for a little bit longer and then we're going to add the dry ingredients. All right, this is about as broken up as I'm gonna get this butter. So here I am with the dry ingredients. Remember our flour, our leavening stuff, our baking powder, baking soda, all of our seasoning, right, is all in here. You wanna slowly add it to this mixture while it's running. So you wanna put it on low and kind of just gradually add it to get that perfect kind of batter consistency. So here we go. you go. You don't want to do it, like I said, for too long. I'm going to scrape down the sides, mix it up for a few more seconds, and then we are ready to put this out on cookie sheets. Woo woo. All right, so the batter is 100% ready to, you know, turn into cookies. I just wanted to show you guys. The batter is thick, okay? It's very thick batter. You will have to use your fingers a little bit to get them into the cookie shape, but you're looking for a thick batter. You're not looking for anything runny. It's almost like a chocolate chip cookie kind of batter. Speaking of chocolate chip cookie, I absolutely love these cookies as is, just like this. My kids, of course, love chocolate chips. So usually what I do is this makes about 2 trays worth, about 24 to 30 cookies. So usually I'll make 1 tray just with this mix, and then I'll toss in some chips so that my kids can have the chocolate chip version, I can have the regular version. And for those wondering what chips I use, I actually use Kirkland from Costco's chocolate chips. They are dairy free. Of course, you could use Enjoy Life morsels as well. And of course, if you're not vegan, then use, you know, Nestle's Toll House, whatever. We love chocolate chips so much. We keep them in a little container in the fridge and we snack on them. All right, so now we are gonna go and plate these up. All right, so here we are. This is my tray. And for those of you who want another tip, these are the products I use. So this is an Air Bakes cookie, you know, tray, whatever you want to call that here. This is a Silplat. It's a silicone rubbery like protection for not only your cookie tin, whatever you want to call this thing, cookie tray, yeah, that's the word, cookie tray. And not only does it protect your cookie tray, but it kind of gives a little barrier between the heat and helps prevent burning. How many times do you have cookies? They look so perfect on the top, but when you go to flip them, they're just a little too brown or dark on the bottom. The combination of these 2 products help make perfect cookies. Again, this is Silplat, S-I-L-P-A-T. I have them as muffin liners. I have them as cookie liners. I absolutely love this product. So to plate the cookies, I just use a normal tablespoon, right, for like eating cereal with. I get my spoon in here. I just get a dollop, right? Take my finger and just scoop it on the tray. I don't have to shape anything. I just let my finger do the work. Here we go. Just make a nice filling here. Again, it's thick, so it's gonna get all over your fingers. And this is the ones I'm gonna do without the chips. Once I add the chocolate chips, then my kids will have a little bit of chocolate chip in their cookies. Now, for those of you who are gluten-free, you can 100% make these cookies gluten-free. Of course, you would use your gluten-free flour, and of course, you want to add in your xanthium gum, or however you say that crazy ingredient. But because these cookies are on the thicker side, you're gonna have to add a little bit more moisture to your batter, because traditionally gluten-free flours kind of make a drier ingredient or a drier, you know, product. So I would add, you know, you want to test it out. I would add probably a 1/4 cup of water to the batter to kind of, you know, fight against the dryness of that gluten-free flour. So here I am, almost done. You want to set your oven to 350 and you want to bake these for about 15 to 18 minutes. And of course you do want to check them. When they're done, they'll start turning a little bit brown on the top. And of course, my secret trick is once you can smell them in the oven, they're probably getting close to being done. So here we are. We're gonna put them in the 350 oven. And of course, we have to set Remy, right? Isn't he cute? We're gonna set him to 15 minutes and we're gonna bake these cookies. All right, so for the chocolate chip version, again, I have 2 of the same things, 2 air bake trays, 2 Silplats, and of course the chocolate chips. I don't measure these because they're basically just for the second batch of cookies. I kind of just go in with a handful and just toss them in, mix them by hand with your spoon, and then plate them up just like you did the previous batch. All right, so we have our chocolate chips in there. Can you guys see that a little bit? a little bit of chocolate chips in the batter. So we're just gonna scoop these out just like before and make a whole nother dozen with the chocolate chips. I don't know what's worse, waiting for water to boil or waiting for Remy to ding. It smells so good in here. 5 more minutes. I feel like a kid. You know, the kids are usually right here like, are they done? Are they done? They're like ready to burn their fingers on boiling hot cookies. I can't, guys. Who else is like me? You're just like staring at the oven like, come on now, hurry, hurry, hurry. Remy, let's go. 5 more minutes. Pumpkin cookies are so good. All right, they're all done. Can you guys kind of see that? I can't touch them because they're really, really hot. But if you can kind of see the top here, you can see the browning at the top, at the tippy peaks. That means they're done, plus Remy went off. Once I take these off the tray, you can see the bottom. They should be a beautiful golden brown, not not burnt, a nice golden brown. And that is gonna be because of the silk plat and the air bake combo together. So this is batch number 1. I have the chocolate chips in the oven as we speak. All right, guys, the cookies are out of the oven. Yay, they smell divine. In fact, I actually already snuck one. They were so good. I'm gonna show them to you guys here in a little bit once they cool down. But I promised I'm gonna show you a simple, easy way to use up the rest of that pumpkin, right? Like every single pumpkin recipe, there's always like a good half a cup of pumpkin left. So you can throw it away or you can put it to good use. So one of my favorite ways to use leftover pumpkin is simply make waffles. That's it. I make waffles with my pumpkin. I make pumpkin waffles. So in this purpose, I'm using Bisquick, which is vegan, right? Accidentally vegan. I'm sure all you true pure vegans, I'm sure it's not quite the right sugar, but it is indeed vegan in general. So I'm gonna make Bisquick waffle mix. There's actually a recipe on the back. I'm just gonna follow it and tweak it a little bit to make it pumpkin, right? So you can probably use whatever your favorite waffle recipe is and you just tweak it to make it pumpkin. Again, I'm vegan and plant-based, so I will not be adding the egg that it says it requires. And I don't use oil. I try to use as little oil as possible, so I am actually gonna eliminate the oil as well, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I do that. So again, I'm just using the Bisquick regular mix, and I'm just gonna follow the waffle recipe on the back. It says to use 2 cups of Bisquick baking mix. Wait, it's in a blender. That's right, guys. I make my waffles in a blender. If you have seen my Mickey pancake video, you will know I make my pancakes in a blender as well. So already in here is the 2 cups of baking mix. Now the next ingredients are wet. Now remember what I said, you don't want to add wet until you're done with the dry, but I'm gonna tweak this to make it, well, a little bit more pumpkin-y, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just take regular cinnamon and I'm just gonna put in a few little squirts, right? A few little dashes. And then of course my secret ingredient, guys, is pumpkin pie spice mix. Just a few little shakes. And that's all it's gonna take. It's all in there, right? So the next ingredient will be 1.5 cups of milk, which of course I will use my almond milk. You can use coconut milk, you can use regular milk. I mean, whatever it is that you use, this is what I have. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, which I am not gonna use. Remember my cup of applesauce from the cookies? That's right. I'm gonna use the rest of the applesauce. I'm just gonna put it right in here. I'm not even gonna measure it because we're adding pumpkin, and pumpkin is gonna have so much moisture to it, it's not really gonna matter. The next thing on this list is 1 egg. Again, I'm not using egg. To replace oil and egg, you can actually use combinations of applesauce, pureed banana, you know, smash your banana with a fork, or pumpkin puree. So that's right, guys. Instead of the egg, I'm actually gonna put in the rest of this pumpkin. I'm just gonna scrape down this jar and use every last bit of the most delicious pumpkin-y goodness ever, right? This whole house is just smelling so good, like pumpkin. And again, like I said, I know it's Halloween, but this is a great treat for, well, really any time. I'll make pumpkin in the summer. But the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Make this Thanksgiving morning, make it Christmas morning, make it whenever the heck you feel like it, because it is just that delicious. I'm gonna pop in the milk. I'm gonna pulse it on the blender. I'm gonna just pulse, mix it up a little bit, pulse some more, and then it is gonna be all ready to go into my hot, steamy waffle iron, which of course is Mickey. So follow along, guys. I am gonna make pumpkin waffles. All right, my batter is all ready. You can see that beautiful like pumpkin-y hue. Oh, I'm so excited. My iron is over here heating up, but I just wanted to let you know, because we've changed so many ingredients, especially for you vegans out there, most of us know the consistency of waffle batter, right? It's thicker than pancake batter, but you should be able to pour it. If you get into the situation where your batter feels a little too thick or a little too thin, go ahead and just, if it's too thin, add a little bit more of your baking mix, right? And if it's a little too thick, then add a little bit of milk. You wanna just kind of add a little bit as you go to make sure you get it the proper consistency. And again, when I was talking about chemistry, when you mix the dry and the wet, you sometimes see these little bubbles forming. That is the chemistry working. The same thing happens when we're gonna go over here and bake or cook the waffles. You will see little bubbles kind of forming. That is the heat activating all the awesome chemistry goodness in your ingredients to rise and make proper waffles. It is, I don't know, it's a little nerdy, I guess, but the kids love it. They love seeing like the chemistry in action. And of course, you know, it's yummy chemistry. So I am gonna wait till my iron is a little bit hotter, and then we're gonna go and make Mickey waffles. All right, here's my waffle iron right here. Hopefully I won't get into your way a little bit. As you can see, it's steamy, it's got the Mickeys. I've got my batter right here, and we're just gonna pour. As we pour, it's gonna sizzle. There we go. We can already see some bubbles forming. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it. All right, it's time. We're doing it together. You ready? Whoa. Wow. Now the trick's gonna be getting them out. I wonder if I can, no. Maybe they need a few more minutes. Wow. Look at that. Beautiful. Ooh. Wow, look at them. Trick, of course, is getting them out because I didn't use oil. Wow, look at that. Yum, yum. Another good one. Ooh. These look fabulous. Oh, wow. Nice. Look at that. Yum. All right, last batch. Ooh. They've definitely gotten better the more I've done them with the no oil. The trick is definitely to let them cook a little bit longer. But wow, you can't beat that waffle right there. Just can't. Another good one. I'm gonna burn myself. There we go. Now let's go eat them. Whew. A plate full of Mickey waffles. Woo. Pumpkin pumpkin at that. All right, guys, that was fun. That was a lot of baking. My house smells so good right now. So just so you guys know, I have them all right here. I ended up making 2 dozen cookies, right? So 1 dozen kind of just plain pumpkin and 1 dozen with chocolate chip. Here they are right here. See if I can show you guys. You can see the little bit of brown coloring at the top. That's how you know they're done. And the back is a perfect, nice little like light golden brown. And they're very cakey, like I said. So you just kind of break them apart. Look at that. OMG, they are so good. These cookies are perfect for the holidays. You can even add a little bit of icing to these. So if you want to make a mixture of powdered sugar and whatever liquid you want, you could even use maple syrup, you could use, vegan milk, you could use regular milk. You whip it up with a fork and you can drizzle on top of these cookies. Oh, I kind of like them plain. They kind of like nice and cakey that way. You can also add a little bit of food coloring to that icing and make it like more Christmassy, right? Add a little red, add a little green, make yourself a Christmas cookie. But they're so moist and so cakey. I absolutely love them. And they make a really cute display. Oop, I dropped it. Really cute. Oh, there they go. A cute little display for your holiday table if you don't drop them all over the place like I just did. And then of course the chocolate chip ones, you can see the chocolate chips in there. So good. These are my kids' favorite with the chocolate chips. So however you want to make these pumpkin cookies, so good. And again, when you have that leftover batter, instead of throwing it away, use it, right? So usually I would make a smoothie, right? You can add it, make a smoothie. You can add it to pancake mixture, or you can make waffles. That's right. How adorable are these waffles? Little pumpkin waffles, little Mickeys. So cute. So for the waffles, I ended up making about 4 to 5 batches of waffles. And because each thing made 4 little Mickeys, that's quite a few little waffles right there. Again, you can add chocolate chips to them. Because I chose not to use oil, they were a little bit more difficult to get off the waffle maker than usual. So again, that's per your choice. I did learn, because this was the first time for me, that I just needed to cook them a little bit longer. When you add pumpkin to ingredients, it makes it moister, more wet, right? So you kind of have to cook it a little bit longer to make it easier. So once I kind of added a few minutes to my time, it was so easy to just pop out these Mickey waffles. So of course I've got a plate right here, and the best way to eat waffles, you guys let me know. Are you a butter and syrup kind of person? Do you add strawberries or whipped cream? Let me know. Oh, come on guys. Oh, look at this. How great is this? Oh, can't wait to eat those. Another great thing to do with these waffles, because they're so little, is you can kind of crisp them up or use them while they're warm. I put ice cream in the center of them and almost make like a waffle ice cream sandwich. It's just ooey gooey delicious. But I would love to know how you guys eat your waffles. Are you straight up whipped cream? Do you need to have the whole fixings, right? You want the syrup, the butter, the whipped cream, the strawberries, the whole enchilada, right, on your waffle? Look at that. So good. Oh, you guys want to see the inside? Here's the waffle right there. Nice and moist. It's just the right amount of pumpkin without being too pumpkin-y, and that's why we added the cinnamon and the pumpkin spice to just kick it up a notch. You could also add vanilla to this, or other seasonings of your choice. But as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you cook or bake any of these things. Let me know how it turns out in the comments. Happy Halloween. Oh my gosh, my favorite holiday. I am so sad it's over, but I'm gonna enjoy the pumpkin-y goodness for the rest of the holiday season. Are you guys with me? So for those of you who have watched this on Halloween, happy Halloween, trick or treat. For those of you who caught it a day after, happy holiday season, right? Thanksgiving is upon us, Christmas right after that, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate and believe in, it's coming around the corner. So happy Halloween and happy holidays, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications, like this video, and comment. I wanna know if you guys like these cooking videos. Should I do more, or are you kind of like, Nina, go back to, don't quit your day job, Nina. Or let me know if you've baked some of these. These are staples in our house, I will be honest. I bake a lot with pumpkin. I make these cookies a lot. And like I said, with the leftover pumpkin, my kids are never gonna turn down pumpkin waffles. They're just never gonna do that. And I mean, really, how cute are these? But let me know in the comments if you choose to bake these and what you choose to do with them. Absolutely love chatting with you guys. But as always, mahalo for watching. Nina out. Bye guys, happy Halloween.